Hey, it's Mark Lowe with Kentucky Tennessee Research, and it's time for a new weekend research project. Join me now. Well, thanks for joining me. And as always, I'm always looking for something to do whenever there's some quiet time, where I can really mull and ponder and think about some new ways to use resources. So I think I've got a good one in mind for you this weekend. Now again, you don't have to do this on a weekend. It's just what we call it because that's one of my favorite times to research. You can do it any time that you have, whether it's day, night, middle of the night, whatever works for you. But I think you'll enjoy the one that I've got for us this week. This is project number 3, and I only number them so that when we talk about them later, we can cycle back to find out the notes that I have regard to it. It's called the Appleton Cyclopedia of American Biography. And I want for you to use it in this way. Number 1, I want you to focus on a different subject or location. Now, this is a new resource maybe. It's been available for a while and you might have used it. But if you haven't, then you could choose to use your location. Find out other folks that are living in that location who are in this Cyclopedia, or even your surname. They may or may not be related. You can also search for a topic, because within the search capabilities using keyword or HathiTrust with a topic, you could find someone who is a Methodist minister, or maybe you could research somebody who was a carpenter, or any other type of occupation, and you could focus on that as a way to search, knowing how to use the resource to locate them. Or it could be a totally random person. So let's use a different resource to just browse or find a subject. And of course, as you choose a subject, it doesn't have to be one that you can always change your mind. So we're going to focus this week on Appleton's Cyclopedia of American Biography. It was edited by James Grant Wilson and John Fiske. And this would have been in the 1887, 6, 7, 8, 9, that time period. They did a couple of revisions afterwards. But it's widely available in lots of libraries. And it's available also on Google Books, too. And you can find that one. But I'm going to focus on 2 places for you to find it today. One will be HathiTrust. That is the link at the top of this screen. And that is HathiTrust. It's a 7-volume set. And you can actually go look at the actual images, and it's searchable as well. It's also available on Ancestry.com at the link on the lower part of the slide, American Cyclopedia, with their term of searching them by collection. Now, you can actually search for this anytime using their card catalog. The same way it's true with HathiTrust or Google. So you could search. It's available in lots of places. And so I would suggest you try searching just for the title and see how we find these. But I will put the links to these sources down in the show notes below. So you can follow up on this and go straight to the aspect of what I want you to do with it. So first, let's go look at the way. This is the landing page for the Ancestry.com if you go to that link that indicated, or if you search for it using the card catalog. Now, the easy way, obviously, we can search by name, but there are other options. We could go browse if we know, for example, if we find this in a reference on Google Books and we want to actually look at the page. We could go to the volume number, which is located on the right side under Browse This Collection, and then you go to the page number, and we'll look at that a little more closely. Or you could actually search, and let's say you're going to search for a location. Well, I got a good idea. Let's search for somebody from Tennessee. Okay, so in the aspect of any event, I'm going to type Tennessee, and it'll come up Tennessee, USA, whatever Ancestry defaults to, and I'm going to make it exact in the search. And when I do that, you're going to see what comes up. It'll be a list of names. Notice that some of them are birthplaces Tennessee, others may be a place of death of Tennessee, or it may be some other event that occurred within their biography. So based on that search alone, I can actually view the record, or if you look all the way to the right, if I view the image, it's going to take me directly to the page where this biography occurs. So I chose one of the guys there, Alvin Gillum, and here's his biography within within the Appleton Cyclopedia, Alvin C. Gillum. Now, here's your assignment. Once you choose the person or what you're going to find, and you find a biography that you want to focus on, I want you to do some basic genealogical research on the subject. Just what extant census records are available. We could go look at them. I would want you to, once you review those, then if it mentions family members, I want you to confirm that you're looking at the right census record for the person mentioned in the biography. Okay, confirm. Now, if they're not mentioned, then we want to kind of determine maybe who family members are. Maybe parents, spouse, siblings, children, whatever. It's your choice. And then I want you to follow the historical events that are mentioned within the biography. For example, he mentions the Tennessee campaign during the Civil War in some locations. If I don't know where those are, I could look on a map. I could do some historical background. I could look at the Civil War trust eras and maps about what was happening. Or I can look him up even on Fold 3 or other options. So again, where you want to go with this is kind of your choice, depending on the person that you choose. But the next question is, can you place the subject of this biography at those events that are mentioned? That's kind of like fact-checking. Looking between the line, as we talked about before, that's kind of like taking the closer look, right? So look closer. So the point is, if you look at the biography and notice events, can you place that person with records at that, at that event, at that time? That's an important skill to be able to do, because we have to do it with our family. The evidence that's presented sometimes leads us to that, but if we can't place that person at that event, look, I come from a long line of storytellers, and you got to be careful, because a good storyteller can lead you down a pathway that may not be true. So we often have to double check those records, and I would encourage you to do that. So that's part of your assignment with a biography. So once you place them at the event, you might think of other resources that would be helpful. Whether you go look at these or not, begin to make a list of those. Hey, I could go look at this, I could go look at that, and begin to think about what I would do if I had more time, or the next time I have a chance to go look at more things. And then, one of the most important things, compile a summary of your findings. As you find new information, jot them down, write them on an index card, write them on a piece of paper, write them on a tablet. If you're using a tablet, then you can switch over to a note page or Word and actually type kind of notes of the citations of the records and what you're finding. If you would rather work with a tree, you could actually construct a family tree just for the benefit of connecting your sources for this particular person. Either way, compile a summary of your findings. Okay. Now, if you decide to use the Haughty Trust example, when you come up at the very top of the page, once you go to the link, then you're going to have to choose a volume. It doesn't search across all the volumes on Haughty Trust. And so, for example, I chose volume 2 because that's where Mr. Gillum was. And within that, I just typed his name, and you'll see search in this text, and you type the name or any topic or any location and click find. And then it'll show up just like it does in the paragraphs below, one finding, and it's on page 658. I'm gonna put them glasses back on to read that. 650, one matching item. So if I click on what's underscored there, page 650, if I click that, it'll take me to that full page, and I kind of show you the subset of that page right there to the left of that. Anyway, they'll take me to the page. Well, in the process of doing this, by the way, I do these kind of in advance and plan ahead, and I always learn. I'm telling you, there's not ever the opportunity that when I go look at a record, I don't learn something. It shows how much I need to learn that I don't know. It's just the process of learning and identifying. But as I compared the two, the one on the left was the Ancestry version, the one on the right is the Haughty Trust. Now, they are the same volume, same page number. And as I compared them, I just noticed, hey, the name is different. So when I looked at the name, in one he's Alvin C. Gillum. On the one at Haughty Trust, he's Alvin Cullum Gillum. Both say a soldier, but the one on the left says born in Tennessee in 1830. The one on Haughty Trust says born in Jackson County, Tennessee, 29th July 1830. all of a sudden I've got more information, and it made me want to look at the source for both of these. And when I did, in comparison, the second one was published in 1888. The other one was born in 1887. Both volume 2, same page number. So there's variants or revisions within the publication. So they probably did an initial publication and then came out with a revision in the next year or so. And although it doesn't say revised edition, there are revisions in the publications from 87 to 88, which I thought's very interesting. I've got more information. Maybe there's even some additional aspects to the biographies that are different. So it's actually worth looking, worth comparing. So again, your job is to find the resource, get familiar with being able to access them, whether you have Ancestry or HathiTrust. And if not, it's also available on Google Books. And by the way, if your library is not closed this weekend or the next time you go, you could actually print this out and go see if they've got a printed copy. Have a print access, because sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes a book is a better source for me to read if I want to browse through. So again, it's your choice what's best for you. Okay? And then we're going to work on that. Take a biography, your choice. Can be based on location, surname, a topic of interest to you, or random. You choose. And then once you find one, write a citation for the biography based on where you find it, or both. And then do some basic research, basic genealogical research by reviewing the extant federal census records that would have been covered in the lifetime of that person. Make sure you're looking at the right person. So confirm or compare or determine who the family members are based on whether they're supplied or not. Just make sure that you are looking at the right person. It may well be that some of the information as you begin to compare it is incorrect in the biography. Make notation of that. And then once we do that confirmation, follow the events in particular. Within a biography, it often mentions kind of a timeline. And if you were putting that together, if that was your family, you could write the biography based on a timeline. They were here, they were there, they were within this event, etc. So follow those events. Make sure that you understand what they're saying in the biography. Then, can you place the subject of that biography at those events? And that's really, again, a reminder that we call that proof. We call that fact-checking when we're doing it for publication. And a lot of folks do that, and it's good. If you're good at that, it will help you to find and locate information, and you become a little more sharp, cynical at times, like doubting things to make you want to double-check. All those are good. Can you place them at those events? And then begin to think, hey, there are other resources that would help me know more about this individual. And you can, whether you go look them up or not, you can jot them down. That would be helpful if you continue the research on this. And most important, in addition to that citation of that original from the biography, compile a summary of your findings, things that you noted. If it's easier for you to do them in a tree, do what works for you. I want you to get in the habit of making documented efforts. Almost like when we talked about a research log, where you list all the things that you're looking for and all the things that you find. I mean, I think that makes it much easier. And if you get in the habit of doing that, once it becomes second nature to you, then you always do it. And you don't think, where did I get that? And have to spend hours trying to locate it again. So I think we've got a fun project this week with the Cyclopedia about American biography. I just want to kind of hint a little bit about two things. One of our next projects is going to be this book. So if you're having fun with these and you want to do more of them, I suggest that you subscribe to the page. Then you'll be notified when they go up. And when I indicate that there's a research project and a number, there'll be a new one to share. And when we go back and follow up with these later, some of these I'm hoping to do some live events where you can actually participate, where we look back over the research we've done of the various ones, and we can all learn together. So it'll sharpen our skills. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying doing some of these activities. You don't have to do them right now. So again, you can do them next weekend or the next weekend, whatever works for you, and then have a chance to come back and look later. Always look in the field notes. I'll try to include all the citations, and I'll include references so that you can go directly to those links as well. If you ever have a question, though, put it there and ask me, or you know how to find me. You're a researcher, so you'll figure out how to find me and locate me. So the whole point is we're ready. We're ready to do the work. Work on the biography this weekend. It's always a great opportunity, because when we work on something other than our family, and I'm not advocating not working on your family, I'm advocating doing this because it sharpens your skills. When we sharpen our skills in general, when we go back to our family and begin to work on the research of a project that we have been working on for some time, it makes us a better researcher. And trust me, stepping away from that from time to time is always walking back a good opportunity to even do a better job. So I know you're ready. I'm ready. I've already got my idea in mind, and I hope you are too. And I hope you're really thinking about this. Here's our next one. So mull and ponder. Appleton's Cyclopedia of American Biography. I think you're going to find this a very interesting publication. And if you don't have time just to look at it for a little bit, open the doors, open the pages, and let your mind wander. Take some time to think about it and enjoy the opportunities, because every opportunity we have to learn, wow, it just expands the horizons every day. Thanks for joining me. Look forward to seeing you next time, and have a great weekend. Take care.